Hello, everyone. This is the Free American Press with your host, Alexander Horat. Today, we're going to be having my good friend, the Economic Ninja, on the show. So, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I wish I had something more than a green screen going on. I mean, literally.
Well, I think it looks pretty good to me. It's a really good. It's my favorite color, actually. So,
Oh, nice. Well, it brings out my eyes.
yeah. So, I was wanting to talk to you a little bit about what Gavin Newsom did and get your take on him banning gasoline lawnmowers and also chainsaws. So, what are some of your thoughts on him doing that?
And my grass is getting really long.
Yeah.
You know, I understand because we're both from California. We're probably going to get some great comments in the comment section below. Please comment on how you feel about California, guys. I think, we're not dealing with the sharpest, pencils in the pencil holder. Let's put it that way. And it's really sad because, this green initiative is getting pushed really strong. And the sad thing is that the people that are pushing it, they go and invest in all of the companies that are going to benefit from this. We've seen this in the past. George Bush, little George, he really pushed, hydrogen vehicles, and those didn't make it very far. But you know what? All the places they put their money sure did make a lot of money for them. And it's frustrating. It makes you want to leave sooner. I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I really like the state. I've personally been across the country. It's really nice in a few states, but I just, love the weather here in California, and that's kind of why I want to, stay here. But I think the politics are just getting crazy because it's like we're already having a forest problem. I know, you know a lot about that here in California with these out of control fires. So if they're going to be banning gasoline chainsaws, how are the people going to stop these forest fires and everything? It's just
a little unknown fact. I actually have a lot of experience cutting down some of those. Well, not experience cutting down the trees. I am a faller, and so I do work with chainsaws, or I used to a lot on those fires. And we've already been issued some electric chainsaws, and I can't stand them. So no, it's and you know what? You're right. This state is awesome. It's got amazing weather. I actually grew up near you when I was little. In the PG&E ditch fishing for rainbow trout. I absolutely loved it up there. And there's a lot of positives here. But the sad thing is the negatives are outweighing those positives right now. And there's a lot of things that we could do right now to actually hedge our bets, and invest for the future, because this isn't going to stop.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So what are some ways we can hedge our bets with Gavin Newsom doing this now?
Yeah, so the sad thing is a lot of people don't understand that this isn't just going to be a California thing. This is going to definitely move throughout the country. It's the start, and it always takes one country, one state, one county to start something. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, it's the grocery bag tax. You guys have that up there, right? And I'm getting to your question, but you have that grocery bag tax, right?
Yep.
That actually started in my county, and it bugs the snot out of me because it's literally just a tax. And they figured out a way to just tax the people, because the grocery store is still obligated to provide the bag at their cost. But that 10 cents goes right to the local municipality. It just bugs the heck out of me. And it ran like wildfire. And when that thing came out, so many other counties said, you guys are nuts. We aren't going to do it. And then they figured out how much money they're making. And they're like, oh, we're going to do it. And then we're going to charge for parking and all this stuff. So your question is, how do we hedge? The facts are, I've been talking about silver and copper lately because of their conductivity properties. There's many other uses for silver outside of electricity conductivity, but silver absolutely blows other metals away, except for copper, because copper does have some good uses, but it's just so much bigger, the size needed to push the amperage some of these cars need. Even though they're being used, it's being used. Silver, in my opinion, is going to benefit probably the most out of all the other metals, regardless of if you believe, like I do, that it's being suppressed right now in price.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you with this Green New Deal, and they're getting rid of gasoline. I think silver is definitely going to go up because we're going to be using it a lot more in a lot of different things. And I also wanted to get into another really important thing. I'm sure you heard about it. Long Beach, where LA is, one of the biggest ports where 40% of our goods overseas enters. They actually just put a new $100 tax per container. So I just wanted to get your take on that.
What's sad? And let's go back to the bag tax. Here, you put a tax on something that the people have to pay, and then, or they start using other plastics, to carry their goods with, and the government gets the benefit. Well, here's the facts. The truth is, the reason why shipping containers are so expensive is because there's less of them available because of this mad rush, right? So the cost of shipping containers went through the roof. And now they're saying, hey, we're going to implement this tax on the empty ones just sitting around in the port, or because you've got full ones and you can't get them to. But guess what? We've already screwed you, because honestly, the feds took away a certain percentage of all truck drivers' licenses last January, having to do with their past. If they had felonies or certain misdemeanors, they lost their hazmat endorsement. And then on top of that, let's screw you guys a little bit even more. And I'm sorry for my language, but it is very frustrating. And let's go ahead and say, you know what, certain vehicles, certain semi-trucks, they're not even allowed in the state to run. So they've literally choked off the main artery from Asia to the nation, because the shortest shipping route is straight into that port. And it's not very easy for those ships to redirect to Savannah.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. It almost seems like they want to destroy the entire country. Because another thing that California just did, I believe it's Kern County, one of the biggest oil wells are found in that county in California. That's where we get most of our oil here in California. But now Gavin Newsom just got rid of it, says you can't get that gasoline anymore, that oil. So now we have to import it all. Plus, we're having this huge supply chain issue. So why do you think they're implementing these policies? Just to enrich themselves and their friends, or is there a more sinister reason behind it?
Well, that is pretty sinister in itself, to be honest with you. Before you put out a rule, it's always smart to go and those who make the rules, benefit the most, because they know who to invest in. The facts are, we've already seen a tyrannical leadership there. We've seen, a mandate be put out, and then all of a sudden, hey, I'm cool because at my restaurant or my winery, we're good. We could throw parties. We already know the mentality of this. So one of the ways that I'm teaching people to protect themselves from this is become sovereign, become their own person. When I refer to that, I'm talking about getting out of the system, the fiat currency system, whether that be precious metals, cryptocurrencies, good ones, not there's some really amazing ones that are going up right now that you think are amazing because the price, but trust me, it's going to be vaporware. And if anybody out there is a coder, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But getting out of the system and become self-reliant. That's another big thing. We're talking about supply chain issues, but very few people, they're running down to go get some toilet paper. And because they didn't have enough. We live in a just-in-time society, but when I went to go to Alaska, their entire livelihood, they think we're nuts, because they're like, we know what it's like to be snowed in. I mean, actually, you know what it's like. I think you're right at the snow line, right?
Yeah.
I grew up needing all of those things. I needed a cord of wood to stay warm. I was younger than you when I was there, but we needed extra food, because what if we were snowed in and we couldn't get down to the store, or which would be awesome, getting snowed out of school. But we needed to eat, and so I think that's the most important thing that people can do right now.
Yeah. So really wanting the people to start prepping, right?
Yeah. And the sad thing is even that's being outlawed right now. There are people, groups that are very large that are even, there's AI scanning all of this, that you're not allowed to put that word into search, SEO, things like that, to be able to attract more human beings, to teach them and show them how important this is. They're even saying that I got a warning on my on one of my accounts that said, do you have any friends that are too prepared? This is very scary right now. And, on the eve of you getting to where your channel is growing, it's blowing up, and I'm super excited about that. But the problem is we've got to tread lightly in this world right now, because all the truth tellers are being silenced.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's really too bad what's going on here in the United States and across the country. So, so what are some other good things you advise for people to prepare for this, all this really, stuff that's going on here in California, especially for Californians?
I'm a really big on diversification. None of this is financial advice, what me and Alexander are talking about, of course. We're not financial advisors. I'm just a dude with a bro huck and a dream. But my big thing is diversification, because the dollar whippet theory that I came out with in June explained pretty clearly that we're going to continue to see heavy inflation, yet deflation would start to rear its head in the fall. And when I said start to rear its head, I didn't mean a deflationary collapse of all assets. deflation never turns on in one day and just everything goes down. What happens is certain things go down. So we saw the price of lumber start to fall because people said, the heck with it, it's too expensive. Now we're starting to see the price of homes fall, even though there's a lot of people around this country who do not want to admit it. But I'm seeing price reductions everywhere. And you know what? You and me are in one of the hottest markets in the country, which means we're going to be the first ones to see it. It's going to trickle out to other people. So what does that mean? That means that you also want to have a position of cash. You want to be sitting off to the sideline with some cash, because during this time, and I'll give you an example, and just, you know, I've only got about 5 more minutes, but in 2008, as everything was coming apart, we were seeing a rapid deflation of all asset classes, including gold and silver. The price of silver went from $19 down to, I believe, 10 at the base around November of 2008. It was the first asset class to bottom. Meanwhile, you know, the stocks kept going down and didn't find a bottom until that next year in the springtime. But my point being is, you know, if you had cash during the panic, everybody was selling all their toys. I was buying up tractors and trailers and all kinds of stuff. It was like 1999 for me. I was partying like a rock star, and I was selling it to other countries like Lebanon. So my point being is that if you just have all your gold and silver and then something happens, a deflationary crisis. Now, I'll tell you something really good about silver. When the paper price was $10, you couldn't go to any store and buy a silver eagle for less than 20. So the physical kept its value, which was awesome. The problem is if you're in paper or you're in assets that are tied to paper, those are going down. So that's why you need a little bit of a cash position to party. And that's what Ninja Nation's all about.
Yeah, definitely. So as an ending question, do you think food will depreciate in value as well? Or do
Absolutely. Yeah, what's sad is that the Tyson CEO, we have so many CEOs of companies out there warning you, because what happens is, in July, I did a video about chicken wings, and I said, look, what's happening is the price is rapidly increasing, and people were like, oh yeah, I went and, you know, I saw 10%. And I said, no, you don't understand. The price is rapidly increasing between the producer and the middleman, and it's about to hit Main Street. And what you think is high prices, we're about to see what I believe by the springtime, hyperinflation in food, which in my definition, because there's no clear definition of hyperinflation, just, you know, we're going to see, I believe, well over a doubling of food prices from now until spring. And I just saw one of the largest CEOs of a grocery chain come on to CNBC, and they said, expect 10% between now and the 1st of December. And just, you know, really smart people, they like to promise a little and fulfill, you know, your wildest imaginations, and they always look like a rock star. That's because they go a little under. So when it goes over, they go, see, I told you. And so in my opinion, we're going to see more than 10% increase between now and December. So why wouldn't you go get your Thanksgiving turkey right now while everyone's caring about candy and costumes? That is literally child's play. Go get your turkey. Go buy your Christmas gifts. If anybody wants to have a Christmas, cool. I'm going to have a Christmas. My stuff is, I'm not joking, my presents are already wrapped. They're sitting under a tree. I don't even mess with this holiday.
Wow, that's pretty important. So basically what you're saying are we're going to get huge inflation and wages aren't going to be going up.
No, they will not be going up and that's what happened in 1980. You know, people don't remember that very well. I've spoken to lots of baby boomers about the high inflation of the late 70s, and then all of a sudden there was an explosion of wages in the 80s, which that was there. The problem is people had to suffer for 4 years before they saw that. And ironically, what people don't understand either, and history is a great example of this, gold and silver are always late to the party. But when they party like a rock star. I mean, you might as well say, here, hold my beer and watch this.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And I think we covered some really interesting topics. And I would just like to thank you for being on the show. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to say congratulations on your growth, man. You're crushing it right now. You've got you get people that I could never get on my channel. So I love your show. You're crushing it, man. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, well, thank you for promoting the show on your YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. And if everyone could please subscribe to his channel, The Economic Ninja, that would be really appreciated. And I would just like to thank everyone for watching, and God bless.
Right on. See you guys.